you have an excellent report out. We see these beautiful charts, and let's just dive right into it. I see this one on Doge market cap has exceeded $75 billion during bull runs. So Doge has been an incredibly successful coin. Tell us a bit about what we're seeing here in one of your charts.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me. I think it'd be helpful just to take a step back and talk about what Doge is. So, I decided to write this report because I took a quick look at the top 10 market cap for crypto, and I couldn't believe that Doge was still there. It's worth $8 billion today. As you see in the chart here, it was worth over $75 billion during some of the biggest bull runs. And it started off as a joke, but if you look at the actual fundamentals of the coin, it's one of the oldest coins in crypto. It started in 2013. It's still the second biggest proof of work coin. And as your viewers would, I'm sure, know, it's very much supported by big proponents such as Elon Musk, Mark Cuban, and even Vitalik. So, sort of why is that support there? And I think it's definitely the meme, but it's a little bit more than that. So, Dogecoin got attention again in sort of early 2021 when we had the meme stock mania. But that attention actually drove some developers and other folks to actually reconsider the project. So what was once almost a dead project revitalized itself, and they were able to sort of build a roadmap. So the developer team actually started working on updates. As you mentioned, we had one this month. And those updates really are about updating wallet functionality, also building payments functionality for end vendors. Because the end goal of Dogecoin, according to the foundation, according to its users, is really to be a payments mechanism, a payments platform. It's not trying to compete with Ethereum. It's not trying to build smart contract functionality. It really is trying to be just an end payment token for users. And the best way for them to facilitate that is to actually build functionality for folks to, merchants and such, to actually enable Dogecoin functionality on their platforms.
All right, if the goal is payments, then how close are they in realizing that? We see that daily transactions from another chart is similar to Cardano. It's been around for a while. I wonder, what does that signify?
Yeah, looking at the fundamentals of Dogecoin, it's pretty interesting. So we have the transaction chart here, and as you noted, it's very close to Cardano, very much lower than Ethereum and Bitcoin. But there are people using the network, and it's actually been 60% or so of the volume on big exchanges like Robinhood and others, which is fairly meaningful. If you look at other sort of fundamental metrics, miner activity securing the network is very strong. Active addresses is using the network are actually as high as Cardano and higher than Algorand or AVAX tokens we would think of sort of, more blue chip. And interestingly, Dogecoin has actually bucked the trend of other networks, increasing its transaction volume, increasing its active addresses during this downturn, as others actually are losing users and transaction volumes coming down over time. The one concern I would certainly point to, obviously, besides the fact of this being a meme coin, is the coin is highly centralized. 98% of the token is held only by 1% of the addresses, and two wallets control 25% of the outstanding supply of Dogecoin. One of those addresses may be Robinhood, but still very concentrated user base that has an outsized share of the token overall.
All right. Yeah, we have that chart on the high concentration of, ownership of Doge right over here. You also have one on social sentiment, which apparently has declined lately. And, is it a crypto market sentiment indicator, Doge, in this regard?
Yeah, so crypto, certainly you would think, during the up markets, things like Doge get attention again. And you can see in this chart early 2021, and then again during the meme stock mania in, March and April, Doge sentiment has spiked. And this is a sentiment score from Sentiment. It looks at, Reddit, Twitter, and sort of aggregates it all together. And you can see there are certain peaks when crypto has had spikes. And you can see again at the end of 2021, a spike in crypto means a spike in Doge. So you would think that as sort of broader crypto market cap rises, Doge sentiment, and Doge market cap could rise. It really is sort of a finger, a pulse on the animal spirits of the crypto market more than anything else at this point.
I found it interesting that Doge is so highly concentrated. So I wonder, who are those people and who is using it? What are they using it for?
Yeah, so a lot of those people are just Robinhood traders, as I mentioned earlier. There are folks who have been gifted large amounts of Doge, such as Vitalik, who's donated to charities and disseminated it. But, I will note it's been interesting that, as you see Ethereum and Bitcoin and others sort of, grow in their life cycle and the tokens be more distributed as folks, use them and such, Doge has gone the opposite way. So it really hasn't been disseminated and it's getting more concentrated over time, which is fairly unusual if you thought it was going to be used more and more as a payment mechanism, which it seems it really hasn't been. It's really been a tool of speculation thus far.
One of the biggest fans of Doge happens to be Tesla CEO and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk. He believes that Bitcoin is bad for the environment, but yet he is a big fan of Doge. I wonder, is Doge any better for the environment? And what are your final thoughts on how Doge will be used going forward?
Doge, the scripting technology behind Doge, a bit technical, but is slightly better for the environment. It's still a proof of work token, so it's not going to be as green for the environment as a proof of stake token would be. So there's some slight advantages there for sure. But naturally, as these things scale, they require more energy. There are other avenues to offset that, as folks in Messari and others have written about, capturing sort of excess carbon and things, or excess energy and things like that. But long term, I think Doge, it really will be an animal spirits coin, a coin for gauging the sentiment of the markets. I find it really hard to believe that it's going to hit its long term value proposition of being a payments mechanism.
Will
because at the end of the day, to be maybe, but I think the actual token value makes it interesting for folks to speculate in, but I think it's really hard to make it an actual monetary store of value. You don't want to store your savings in Dogecoin. You don't want to tell your friends to save and pay for things in Dogecoin, which is what you really need for it to catch on as a payments mechanism to be more broadly used. So I think it's going to be speculative at best going forward.
I've been tipped some Dogecoin, not sure what to do with it. Probably tip people in return. I'll tip you after this interview.
Send it to Vitalik's wallet.
Okay, send it to Vitalik. Also, Messari is out with a new report on Polygon, zkEVM, zero knowledge Ethereum virtual machine, per their new report on the future of Ethereum scaling. I wonder, so what are your thoughts on that and some of the challenges of bringing zero knowledge proofs to this layer 2 solution to Ethereum? I mean, is it ready for prime time?
So not yet. So just to take a quick step back, the holy grail of technology for layer 2 would be to take all the smart contracts that are on layer 1, so Aave, Uniswap, Curve, and bring them over to layer 2 so they're faster, cheaper, and have all the advantages of L2s. To date, you haven't been able to do that. ZK rollups can only process certain types of transactions. They need specialized languages. The releases we saw the other day with these zkEVMs, there were actually 3 of them. You had Scroll, Polygon, ZK Sync, all had a release of what they are saying is the end state of a zkEVM, where you could just take those layer 1 smart contracts, bring them over to layer 2, and actually have that functionality. They're all in sort of early stages right now. Each one of the solutions I mentioned has a roadmap to the end of the year. They have a test net that's either ongoing or about to be released. But right now, they're very much in the early stages, but good signs because they were supposed to be years away, these solutions. So it's nice to see at least the test net phases.